to talk about evaluating expressions. Your goal is I can use formulas to evaluate expressions. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so here we have an example of a problem. We have a plus b, but I am giving you some formulas. I'm telling you that a equals 4 and b equals 5. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the 4 and replace it with the a, and you're going to take the 5 and replace it with a b. But what's very important is that when you replace a number with a letter, you put it in parentheses. So a is 4 plus, and b is 5. So 4 plus 5 equals 9. So the answer to this problem is 9. Let's get just a little bit harder. Here we have a to the second power minus b. So for a, we're going to replace it with 6. But again, remember I told you, put it in parentheses. And the reason why is because sometimes we'll have exponents attached, like in this example, and sometimes we'll have another number attached to it. So it's very important we put it in parentheses. Minus, and then instead of b, we're going to write 9. Now, order of operations tells us to do exponents first. So 6 to the second power is 36 minus 9. And 36 minus 9 is going to give us 27. We're going to get a little bit harder. So now we have 3 letters and 3 numbers, so 3 different terms. So here we have, open parentheses, instead of a, we're going to do 16, and it's okay to put another set of parentheses inside, minus, and instead of b, we're going to put 7, close parentheses, plus, and for c, we're going to put 2. So let's do our parentheses first. 16 minus 7, that's going to be 9, plus 2. And 9 plus 2 is 11. So it's really not hard to evaluate expressions using formulas, but the key is making sure that you're putting the values in correctly for each term. Okay, now this is what a typical word problem would look like for evaluating expressions. It says the perimeter, and we know what perimeter means, it's the distance around something, of a rectangle can be found using this formula. P equals 2L plus 2W. And in this case, P means perimeter. So perimeter equals all of this. Find the perimeter if L equals 8 and W equals 4. And I have a little picture here for you just to kind of give you a visual, but you don't have to have a picture because you have your formula. So P equals 2L plus 2W. And what that means is 2 times the length, because we have our length twice, and 2 times the width, because we have our width twice. But again, we don't need the picture because we have this here. So P equals 2, and instead of L, we're going to put 8. And here's why those parentheses are important, because it's 2 times 8. But if you didn't have those parentheses, it would really be 28. So it's very important to have those parentheses. Plus 2, and instead of W, we're going to put 4. So P equals, what's 2 times 8? 16. Plus 2 times 4 is 8. So P equals, perimeter equals 24. Again, nothing fancy, we're just taking numbers and substituting them for letters. So here we have a similar situation as well. And I'm going to see if I can move that picture up just a little bit. There we go. All right, so again, it says the area of the rectangle, and this time we're doing area, is found using A equals LW, which is area equals length times width. And the perimeter is found using P equals 2L plus 2w, which is what we just did. Now it wants us to find the area and the perimeter if the length equals 4 and the width equals 2, and then in a separate problem, the length equals 10 and the width equals 3. So we have two different problems going on here. And in one case, we're going to find the perimeter, and then we're going to find the area. In the other case, we're going to find the perimeter, and we're going to find the area. So let me make this a little straighter. All right, so we're going to first work with this set of numbers. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find the area. So we're going to write our formula. A equals LW. Okay? So area equals, what is L? 4 times W, what is W? 2. So area equals, what's 4 times 2? 8. And that's part of the first answer. And I'm going to move this picture over here for now so we have more room. Now we need to work on perimeter with this same set of formulas here. Okay, so perimeter equals 2L plus 2W. And we're familiar with this one because we just used it. So perimeter equals 2 times L, L is 4, plus 2 times W, W is 2. So perimeter equals 2 times 4 is 8, plus 2 times 2 is 4. So perimeter equals 12. Okay? Now I'm going to move my picture. I'm going to move it down there for now. Okay. Now, we're going to do the exact same thing as we did over here, except we're going to use these new numbers for L and W. So we're going to start with area. Area equals length times width. Area equals, instead of the L, we're going to do 10. And instead of the W, we're going to do 3. So area equals, what's 10 times 3? 30. All right, now let's do perimeter. Perimeter equals 2L plus 2W. Perimeter equals 2. Instead of L, we're going to do 10 plus 2. And instead of W, we're going to do 3. So perimeter equals 2 times 10 is 20, plus 2 times 3 is 6. So perimeter equals 26. And again, you'll want to make sure that you pause the video and go back and write all this down. All right, let's try another one. So in this case, we have no shape, but what we're actually doing is we're finding the final speed of something. So we're talking about velocity. So the formula is V equals U plus A times T. And I know it's going to look kind of crazy to you, all these letters, I don't know what they mean, but here's the thing. You don't have to know what they mean because you're using the formula and you're going to take these numbers and put them in for the letters. That's all you're going to do. All right, so let's get started. So first we write the formula. V equals U plus A T. And when I write my T's, I kind of have a little tail on them just so I can tell the difference between a plus and a T. It's a good habit to get into. So V equals, instead of U, I'm going to put 6, plus, instead of A, I'm going to put 2, and instead of T, I'm going to put 5. And again, anytime you're putting in a number for a letter, you always want to do it with parentheses. So V equals 6 plus, what's 2 times 5? 10. V equals, what's 6 plus 10? 16. All you're doing is putting those values in for the letters. Okay? Same formula, we're just going to use these numbers. V equals U plus A times T. So what does V equal to? So V equals, instead of U, I'm going to write 0, plus, instead of A, I'm going to write 4, and instead of T, I'm going to write 3. So V equals 0 plus 4 times 3, 12. So V equals 12. All right, now this is a very popular formula when you start to take physics in high school, but this is force equals mass times acceleration. And again, you don't even have to know that because all you're doing is solving for F. All you're doing is plugging these numbers in. So let's go ahead and try that. So we have F equals m times A. So F equals, instead of m, I'm going to put 10. And instead of A, I'm going to put 3. So F equals, what's 10 times 3? 30. And that's it. Okay, let's try this one. Same formula. F equals m times A. So F equals, instead of m, I'm going to put 200. And instead of A, I'm going to put 2. So F equals 400. All right. Okay, now we have another shape that we're working with. So this time we're finding perimeter of a triangle, and the formula is P equals A plus B plus C, which makes sense if you think about it because perimeter is adding up all the sides, and if this is A, we want to add it to B and add it to C. But again, you don't even have to know that because all you're doing is taking the formula and plugging the numbers in for each variable. So here's our formula. P equals A plus B plus C. P equals, instead of A, I'm going to put 10. Instead of B, I'm going to put 12. And instead of C, I'm going to put 8. So P equals 10 plus 12, 22, plus 8. P equals 30. And I could give you different numbers for this and you would use the same formula. You just want to look for the formula that you're going to use and plug in the different values for the letters. Okay, this time we have a box and we're going to find the volume. So volume equals A times B times C. And again, you don't need the picture. You don't even need the words up here. All you need is the formula. V equals A times B times C. So V equals, instead of A, we're going to put 2, again, always in parentheses. Instead of B, we're going to put 3. And instead of C, we're going to put 10. And I want to show you real quick, I'm going to change colors here, what happens if you don't put those in parentheses. So you would get V equals 2, 3, 10. And that would look like your answer, 2,310. But when you're putting them in parentheses, you're showing multiplication. Here you're not showing any multiplication, so that's the wrong way to do it. So V equals, what's 2 times 3? 6. And then bring down the times 10. V equals 6 times 10 is 60. Excellent, excellent. Okay, we have another perimeter question here. Write down the formula for the perimeter of the shape shown. Now this time it is not giving us a formula. And the reason why is it wants us to come up with the formula and then plug in the numbers for each letter. But because it's perimeter, we know that this is a pretty easy formula. Okay, we did it with combining like terms. So what is the formula for this shape for perimeter? P equals. Now think about perimeter. It's adding up everything around. So let's start with the first one. P equals A plus C plus A plus B plus B. Now, you could leave this just like this and plug in the numbers and be perfectly fine, but we always want to try and combine like terms. So P equals, here's my A, here's another A with no exponent, here's a C, no other C, and here's a B plus another B. So let's try and combine those terms. So P equals, I have A plus A, and you know there's an invisible 1 in front, so that's going to be 2A plus, now I have B plus B, and we know there's an invisible 1 in front of each one of those, so 2B plus just one lonely C. So that's the formula that we're going to use. So I'm going to put it up here. In fact, I'll change colors. P equals 2A plus 2B plus C. Okay, let's plug it in. P equals 2, and instead of A, I'm going to put 2, plus 2 times, instead of B, I'm going to put 3, plus, instead of C, I'm going to put 5. So P equals 2 times 2 is 4, plus 2 times 3 is 6, plus 5. P equals 4 plus 6 is 10, plus 5. P equals 5 plus 10 is 15. So you did two things in this problem. You came up with the formula and you came up with the answer using the values to substitute. All right, we're going to get a little bit trickier here, but it's nothing you can't do. So I want you to think of all of these as formulas, and you're going to substitute m equals 3 anytime you see m, and n equals 4 anytime you see an n. Okay? So we're going to take them slowly, one at a time. All right, so here we have m squared plus 2n minus m plus 6. Okay? So I'm going to write it out over here. So instead of m, I'm going to write 3 squared minus 2. Instead of n, I'm going to put the 4. Minus, instead of m, I'm going to put the 3. Plus 6. So 3 squared, 3 to the second power. 3 times 3 is 9, minus 2 times 4 is 8, minus 3 plus 6. And actually, what I need you to do is I need you to fix something. I need you to make this a plus. Can you make that a plus? So this is also going to be a plus right here. That's a typo. Okay, so 9 minus 8 is 1, and then bring down the rest of the problem. 1 plus 3 is 4. Bring down the rest of the problem. 4 plus 6 equals 10. So the answer to this problem right here is 10. Okay, I'm going to switch colors. So over here, I have 0.5 plus, now instead of m, I'm going to use 3. And then, ooh, this looks like a distributive property right here. Okay, and then instead of n, I'm going to write 4 minus 1. So I have 0.5 plus, and I'm going to distribute this. 3 times 4 is 12. Bring down my minus. 3 times 1 is 3. So 0.5 plus 12 is going to be 12.5 minus 3. And 12.5 minus 3 is going to give you 9.5. Don't get scared when you see the decimals. They're okay. All right, I'm going to work on number 3 here. So this time I have these brackets. These are the big parentheses. So instead of n, I'm going to use 4 to the second power plus 3 times m, and instead of m, I'm going to put 3. Close my big brackets. Divided by, instead of m, I'm going to put 3 plus 2. Okay, so here I have 4 to the second power, which is 4 times 4, which is 16, plus, and here I have 3 times 3, which is 9. Then I have divided by 3 plus 2 is 5. Okay, so I have 16 plus 9, that's going to be 25, divided by 5 equals 5. Excellent job. All right, and then I have my last problem, which is going to be right here. So I have 10 minus, instead of n, I'm going to use 4. Instead of m, I'm going to use 3. Ooh, this looks like another distributive property here. Then I have, instead of m, I have 3, and instead of n, I have 4. All right, so we have 10 minus 4 plus, I'm going to distribute, 3 times 3 is 9, then bring down my plus, and 3 times 4 is 12. So I have 10 minus 4 is 6, plus 9 plus 12. 6 plus 9 is 15 plus 12, and 15 plus 12 is 27. All right. So that is the end of this lesson. Practice makes perfect with evaluating expressions. Remember, just use the formula and always substitute the numbers for each variable, but always, always, always put them in parentheses. As always, you can rewind, fast forward, or pause and ask me any questions you have in class.